Now we are going to discuss regarding skeleton. Skeleton system. In skeleton system, there is skeleton is divided as appendicular and axial. In appendicular, we discuss upper limb and lower limb. Upper limb, lower limb. In the axial, we discuss regarding vertebral column and head. We can look. This is head. This is vertebral column and ribs. In vertebral column, we discuss also with the ribs till this portion. This is called axial skeleton. In the appendicular, this bone and this all bone. In upper limb and lower limb, this is upper limb and this is lower limb. So we discuss regarding this. So in the upper limb, we can start with the upper limb. In upper limb, there is the bone of, this is called humerus. This is two, left and right. Then there is radius in thumb side, radius, and little finger side, middle side, ulnar. When we go down, there is 8 carpal bone. This bone are carpal bone. We discuss all of the name carpal. Then attached with the carpal and phalanges, this bone are called metacarpal. And then there is phalanges. In one hand there is a 14. In metacarpal, in one hand we look 5. Then carpal 8. Number 1 ulna, 1 radius, and 1 humerus. So we can multiply like that way. It is 13 in number when we count, and in both hands 13 into 2, 16 bone we have covered. In the upper limb there is 16 bones. Also there is like this clavicle and scapula. In posterior side this is scapula, and this is clavicle. It is 2 in number. We have done upper limb. Now we are moving to the lower limb. In the lower limb, another color, there is femur. This is femur. This is longest one, and after that this is patella, and this is fibula, tibia. One thing I can mention that tibia and femur have the joint directly, and by the side there is fibula is joined with the tibia. There is joints, and tibia directly joined with the femur. So after that there is in the leg there is a tarsal bone. It is in 7 number. and after that there is metatarsal bone. This is 5 in number. After that there is also 14 phalanges. Phalanges number in 14. And when we look for both, there is multiply by 2. This is also in, and there is 13 into 2 is 16 in number. There is also pelvic bones in lower limb. So these bone are pelvic bone. Pelvic 2 in number. Pelvic 2 in number. Both sides. So we have covered this, like how much we have covered 1 2 to 4, and this pelvic. And now we are moving to the axial skeleton, head and vertebral column. Regarding vertebral column, I'm going to write here regarding vertebral column. We have divided axial skeleton in vertebral column and head. In vertebral column, like there is sternum, one bone, sternum. This is 1 number, and there is 24 ribs. Total is 25 bone we have covered, and there is in the ribs there is 2 pair of floating ribs. So when we discuss vertebral column, I am going to draw here vertebral column. There is like in the vertebra there is divides vertebral column in atlas, cervical vertebra, thoracic vertebra, then lumbar vertebra, then sacrum and coccyx. This coccyx is fused bone, and there is 4 bone fused. In the sacrum there is also fused bone. There is 5 fused bone. And in lumbar it is not fused bone. There is the 5 lumbar bone, and 12 thoracic and 7 cervical. So cervical have like initial bone. This is called atlas. It is first bone, C1, first bone which connected with the head of occipital bone. Regarding head, it is called a skull bone. It is divided as head is divided as skull and neck. Neck region. So in the skull there is facial 14 bone, and cranial 12 bone. 8 bone. Cranial 8 bone. When joining it's 22 bones in the skull. Then there is a neck region. In the neck region also, in the cranium there is ear bones like malleus, incus and stapes. It's in 2 ear there is 3 into 2, it's 6 total in number. Then in neck there is hyoid bone. weight bone, it is 1 in number, so we can calculate all the bone, it's reached to 206. Now we are going to discuss with we have discussed regarding the cervical, thoracic, lumbar and sacrum and coccyx. So we can look in this image. In this image I am going to remove the drawing. Now we can look, this is sternum, this is sternum bone, and in backside there is for there where the ribs is attached, this is called thoracic vertebra, vertebra. These are the cervical vertebra, and these are lumbar vertebra. Then after lumbar there is sacrum vertebra, and there is coccyx. These are the coccyx. Hope these bone are clear. Then we are going to the facial bone. So in the skull anatomy, there is frontal bone, one frontal bone. Then there is temporal, two in temporal bone, backside occipital, and two parental bone. So when we look this region, this is the frontal, this is temporal, and backside. When we look from the backside, this is called occipital. And when we look in the top side of the upper side, there is two parietal bone, and here is like sphenoid bone, and this is mandible bone, and this is maxillary zygomatic, and this is nasal bone. Here is lacrimal bone inside the skull, and then when we look from the base side, there is a vomer bone and the platine bone. When in total in the skull there is 22 bones. Now we have covered all the skeletal system. I think it's helped to you.